Breaking news, breaking stories, tracking storms. News Channel 25 at 5.
We begin this afternoon with a developing story out of Waco where a high school senior set to graduate tomorrow is presumed dead in a drowning at Lake Waco. News Channel 25's Amanda Gomez joins us live from Lake Waco with the latest details. Amanda?
Bruce, the Waco Fire Department launched a search around 1:30 this afternoon to look for the teen. Now they have boats out on the lake behind me right now still looking for him, but so far they haven't found him. Waco ISD spokesperson Dale Kxxv told News Channel 25 he was a student at A.J. Moore Academy. He was at graduation practice this morning and then decided to go for a swim in the lake with some friends. He apparently got into trouble while he was swimming and his friends couldn't reach him in time. Police aren't releasing his name right now out of respect for the family, but we do know that he was supposed to graduate tomorrow. Of course, we're going to continue to follow this story for you as it develops and bring you the very latest at 6. Live at Lake Waco, Amanda Gomez, News Channel 25.
And we have breaking news out of McLennan County this afternoon as well, where a train hit an 18-wheeler in Crawford, 20 miles west of Waco. It happened at the intersection of Highway 185 and 317 in downtown Crawford. The big rig was high-centered on the railroad tracks there, so the driver went to get help, and that's when a train came along and hit the 18-wheeler, cutting it in half. Fortunately, no one was injured. Well, an outbreak of E. coli bacteria in Bell County has stirred up some major concerns. Yesterday, we told you authorities had closed their investigation into 5 cases stemming from food at a Killeen restaurant. But Bell County health officials wouldn't tell us which restaurant that was. Now, we told you we'd find out, and we have. News Channel 25's Mark Wiggins joins us live with the report. Mark?
Well, that's right, Bruce. Yesterday, we were told that state laws prevented health officials from giving us that information. Today, I was told the reason behind this is to keep businesses and individuals' identities safe and not put them in fear of cooperating with a public health investigation. But when our story ran last night, our viewers, you, logged on to our Facebook page and dozens of you expressed your concerns that the public has the right to know where the outbreak came from. We followed up, and after a request through the Freedom of Information Act, this is what we found. The E. coli bacteria most likely spread from a batch of guacamole made on April 13th at the Jason's Deli on Central Texas Expressway in Killeen. The guacamole was likely contaminated on site, possibly by an object or employee during the preparation stage. Well, that means no other Jason's Deli locations are affected. In fact, only the guacamole made on April 13th in that location is believed to have been contaminated. Bell County health officials tell me restaurant management and staff cooperated fully with the investigation and there's no danger in eating there today. And I want to stress there is no danger any longer and we don't want to discourage anyone from eating there. Now, I've been in touch today with a corporate spokesperson for Jason's Deli and coming up at 6, we'll hear from him. Live in the Waco newsroom, Mark Wiggins, News Channel 25.
This is your First Alert weather.
I know we're beginning to sound like a broken record. It is hot across central Texas, and today again, record-breaking temperatures. We hit 100 degrees earlier in Waco. We're down 1 degree. It's still hot with lots of sunshine. 99 currently there, 97 in Temple and in Killeen with all that sunshine, and 96 right now in Bryan College Station. Winds have been breezy today out of the south-southeast, anywhere between 15 to 20 miles per hour. The good news is the winds are going to go away. The bad news is it's going to make it feel even more hot and uncomfortable this weekend, but there is a small chance of rain. We'll talk about that coming up.
Thanks, Conley. Well, job numbers from May were released today. They are not good news. They detail the fewest new jobs in 8 months, and the unemployment percentage is up. ABC's TJ Winnick has the story.
Fears of a double-dip recession rippled across America today, with word that employers added just 54,000 new jobs in May, the fewest in 8 months. The unemployment rate also jumped a tenth of a point to 9.1%.
If you got hit by a truck, you know, it's going to take a while for you to mend. And that's what's happened to our economy. It's taking a while to mend.
After touring a Chrysler plant in Toledo today, the president focused on the 2.1 million jobs created since the height of the recession. House Speaker John Boehner predictably had a different take.
You talk to job creators around the country like we have, they'll tell you that the overtaxing, overregulating, and overspending that's going on here in Washington is creating uncertainty and holding them back.
The economists we talk to, really across the political spectrum, at this point are not predicting a second dip into recession. That said, their concerns about the economy and the robustness of the recovery are increasing on a day-to-day basis.
There's no debating the housing market. It has officially double-dipped. 23% of all homes with a mortgage are still underwater, worth less than the loan. Donna Reese is recently divorced.
Now I'm a single mom of 5 kids, and I don't want them to lose, the house.
All this comes on top of the fear that failure to reach a political deal on the country's debt negotiations or make progress soon could lead to a downgrading of America's credit rating.
Here on Wall Street, the market actually dropped over 100 points in less than a minute after news of those discouraging job numbers were made public. TJ Winnick, ABC News, New York.
Well, the U.S. government is selling its remaining shares in Chrysler. Italian carmaker Fiat is buying the 6% stake from the U.S. Treasury for $500 million. The government says this move wraps up its 2009 bailout of the Detroit carmaker. The U.S. Treasury still owns about 1/3 of General Motors shares. And Mazda Motor Corporation and Ford may part ways. The end of that partnership would mean Mazda would stop making cars in the U.S. The Ford plant in Flat Rock, Michigan makes the Mazda 6 midsize sedan. It employs about 1,700 people. Instead, Mazda would ship its cars to the U.S. from Japan and Mexico starting in 2013. Well, a man who sexually assaulted a disabled teenager is going to prison for 15 years. 47-year-old Gary Lynn Jefferson lured the 18-year-old girl away from her home back in September. Police say that they found her naked with Jefferson in a nearby park where she told officers he sexually assaulted her twice. Jefferson accepted a plea deal today in court. And Waco police have released more information on a man they arrested for a pair of armed robberies. 21-year-old Delarante Walker faces 3 counts of aggravated robbery stemming from allegedly holding up 2 people in the 1900 block of Colcord and another person at 26th and Gorman late last month. A tip led to his arrest at the Jefferson Arms Apartments, where a gun believed used in those robberies was found. At this point, Walker has only been charged with those 2 crimes. A woman is okay after losing control of her car and smashing through a Jack-in-the-Box parking lot in Copper's Cove. Take a look at the mess left at the restaurant this morning. Police say that woman behind the wheel didn't control her speed on a turn. It happened at 901 East 190 about 11:30. Police say the accident caused at least $1,000 worth of damage. A Waco home is badly damaged after a fire early this morning. 5 people were inside that home at 3216 Ethel Avenue when it ignited just before 3 a.m. All those people were able to get out safely, but some of their pets are missing. That fire is under investigation. And in Austin, lawmakers are considering a plan to revamp how health care is provided to the poor and disabled. Republican Representative Lois Cocorts wants to ask federal authorities for a waiver to experiment with a new payment plan, an incentive system for Medicaid. Medicaid provides health insurance to people with disabilities, the poor, and the elderly who need long-term care. The federal government matches state spending if the state follows federal guidelines, and Cocorts has proposed an alternative system. Well, the Texas Senate is expected to vote down a school financing bill today. That's the major issue in this special legislative session. The Finance Committee approved that legislation yesterday. The Senate's expected to move the bill on to the House for consideration next week. Republicans hold majorities in both the Texas House and the Senate, ensuring passage of the bills once they work through the legislative process. Well, $26 million worth of drugs is out of the market this afternoon. Customs officials say they've seized more than 16 tons of drugs in the past week. And 2 of the largest seizures came Monday at a checkpoint in Falfurrias, about 160 miles south of San Antonio. More than 4,300 pounds of marijuana was found in a tanker trailer, and another 6,300 pounds was found hidden among some produce. Well, coming up, First Alert 25 Chief Meteorologist Conley Isom has your weather forecast a little bit later. Plus, former presidential candidate John Edwards is facing criminal charges this afternoon. What he's accused of doing and what he has to say about it are next. And if you see breaking news or have a story you'd like us to look into, call our News Tip hotline at 254-757-2525 or email us at ideas@kxxv.com. You're watching News Channel 25 at 5.